doing that. KUSI's Hunter Soward spent the day with Border Patrol and local lawmakers to learn more about the impact that this is having. Hunter.
Yeah, Logan, Congressman Darrell Issa has really spent time taking not only lawmakers, but really anyone who wants to experience firsthand what these agents go through every day. This was his 5th trip to the wall this year, and we were lucky enough to get to see firsthand with Border Patrol as our guide to really see firsthand what they're experiencing right now with this unprecedented situation happening at our southern border. Now, comes just days after the Biden administration, as you mentioned, canceled that funding, and reaction tonight from agents who this directly impacts. It stretches hundreds and hundreds of miles along our southern border.
This is simply a protective fence that allows the Border Patrol to do their job more safely.
And is back at the center of ongoing debate about the future of immigration reform. It's why elected officials from across California came here.
To see the situation for ourselves, to talk to our Border Patrol agents, to really see what the problems that they're having.
Officials like Congressman Jay Obernolte, alongside Escondido Mayor Paul McNamara, invited by Darrell Issa to learn firsthand
the complexity of the problem. And how there's no simple solution.
Their trip comes as major changes are being felt by CBP.
One of the sad things about the shutting down of the existing contracts is it doesn't save any money.
Construction sites like the one you're looking at right here now coming to a screeching halt as the Biden administration just days ago announces that they are suspending military-funded construction on the border wall.
We've seen huge stockpiles of material for finishing the fence, these gaping holes in the fence that are just sitting there waiting to be put up. And I'm sure they could be up in a matter of days if we just had the moral authority to do it.
As expected, the Biden administration has formally canceled projects on the wall previously funded by using diverted military spending under the Trump administration.
Tijuana is right there. I mean, it's a metropolis of several million people. To have areas of fence and a border that's insecure right next to that, you can see how easily the Border Patrol can get overwhelmed.
We should argue over immigration reform, but not argue over the enforcement for the safety of the Border Patrol agents and for the safety of the people who may try to come here.
A move that border agents I spoke to said will make their jobs more difficult. As we drove miles into some of the most rugged terrain, reality of what agents experience every day on full display. A family who tells us they're from Romania with children ages 2 to 7.
If we want to solve this problem, and I think everyone does, we need to have both sides talk about it. And we need to have a very honest and candid discussion.
Leaders say a question of how we move forward with reform that protects our border with compassion.
You can't just talk about a part of the problem with a part of the solution. You really need to talk about it in a holistic way.
It doesn't change the fact that we have a legal system and a quota. And whatever that quota is, it's being ignored.
Compassion, but also fixing the problem. This is a debate that has gone on for decades now. Issa says that he wishes we could come to a conclusion more about maybe a workers' permit guest program where people would be allowed to come here to the United States, make a living wage, save up money, then go back to their country and invest that in their own economy. He says this is the way that we take some of these areas that are struggling so badly right now and bring them out of poverty. He said that this is something he knows is not a bipartisan supported effort, but he wishes it's one that they could bring back into the discussion so that we could find a better way forward. At the end of the day, a complex issue that's going to take a complex answer to this problem. Logan, we'll send it back to you.
Yeah, that's for sure, Hunter. So now that these funds are not being used for the construction of the wall, are we learning what those funds are going to be used for?
Yeah, it's an interesting question, Logan, because, of course, everyone is wondering exactly how much money is now going to be diverted into these other military missions. And at this point, we don't have an exact dollar sign. We do know that construction that was already underway was, quote unquote, paid for and finished. It just needed to be completed. And all of that now has been canceled. And the funds that were going to be used to extending it are now going to be funneled into other areas of need, so to speak, of schools for military children, overseas missions, as well as the National Guard and reserve equipment accounts that, of course, are going to need their own money and funding, but something that we're going to have to watch moving forward if the money that was being spent here at the border wall is really going where they say it is. We're live here in Otay Mesa. Logan, we'll send it back
All
to
right,
you.
Hunter Sowards for us. Thanks, Hunter.